bro? What's
How
up,
you doing, man? I'm good. How are
Good.
you?
Good. I got the sleepy eyes right now, dude. I'm stoned as hell, but ready to talk about the Thunder. Season kicks off tomorrow, baby.
Tomorrow at what is it? 10 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. my time. So you guys can figure that one out.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna watch that one in the morning.
I'm not. I'm gonna watch it after I pick up my kids from school, and I'm gonna be live on that. I don't know if I'm gonna go live on this, but I'm gonna be live on the game.
Nice.
So
Feel free, dude. I'll jump on if you guys can talk Dave into going live. Then I'll jump on and catch it in the morning.
man,
But
you guys
either
make
way-
me feel good, and I'll do it.
either way, guys, we'll try to catch up after the Nuggets game. I mean, this is a big one. Obviously, the Nuggets, everybody knows what they're capable of, and they got that championship pedigree. They got rust now, so that's going to be interesting. But I mean, overall, we like where we're at. I've seen a lot of articles that have come out by the national media that seem to really recognize that this is like, it's more of like a coronation for the Thunder. Like they already took first place in the West, but they're like, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of teams that challenge the Thunder for first place. Now, we already see some setbacks, and I already know I'm going to regret saying those types of things. But this is what seems like the national media is saying. This is not my assessment because you got to go out and win every single game.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point of putting it. Is we like to say, especially on this podcast, is we see this team doing crazy, amazing things as long as they stay healthy. Last year, it's the same thing. Early this year, watching Hartenstein and J-Dub go down was a lot, very huge pill to swallow. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make it sound, kind and nice, because watching J-Dub go down with a twisted ankle, which he's had issues with, makes me kind of nervous, because we're watching what happens when people mismanage players' ankles and knees, with Kawhi over there with his knees. So, like, it's all about managing these injuries properly, which sometimes means that they're going to be out for weeks at a time rather than a couple days. So, yeah, J-Dub going down, spraining his ankle. I think he'll be back, but I'm not sure. I'm not putting a lot of weight on that. We'll see what happens. But Hartenstein, he's done for the next 4 weeks at least. So we got to get healthy. And if we can get healthy and we can stay healthy all year, then I think 68 games is a really good position to put us in, because I'll be honest with you, is that there's very few teams that are designed to be able to play with us in a 7-game series, much less in a 1-game series. So do I think that we're going to lose 15 games this year? Yeah, 16 games sounds about right.
And obviously, this is going to be like a fun season. Like, we've got that. But you mentioned the Clippers for a second there. He's quiet. Made me think of the Clippers, and like, it really seems like those future picks are starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, so let's just be honest about the Clippers. The Clippers are in trouble. James Harden looks like he's in shape, and he could go out and have one of those seasons that everybody writes about for a long time to come. And that would be great. But he's also getting up there in age. Like, once you get past a certain age and you log a lot of minutes, you start seeing it. And unfortunately for James Harden, he's never been somebody that you can rely on to log a shit ton of minutes without repercussions. So I'm looking at that and I'm circling it. If James Harden, right, doesn't come out and doesn't play, then the Oklahoma City Thunder will be the top in the West and have a top 5 pick at the end of the year. So think about that, guys.
And that is, when you think about it, one of those things that is kind of like really hard to comprehend. Finding a way to add a top tier talent in the upcoming draft while, top 5 pick, and you start mentioning some names of people who could be in that top 5 pick. We don't want to get carried away with that because we got a lot of basketball to watch.
Cooper Flake.
It's nice to think that there could be a path to a player who is a generational talent, while at the same time competing our asses off and potentially, getting out of the second round of the playoffs this time and beyond. Like those two things happening at the same time and not being in any way having any effect on each other is really special. And this is an opportunity for the Thunder fans to really appreciate what investments they made in bringing up Russ again. He was part of it, and he still had some time, and that meant we had to watch him play in different uniforms, but that was okay. That was worth it. We got some incredible shit in front of us, dude. It's really, really baller.
You're right. And my buddy Blake, who runs a hell of an English garden, he's a specialist. Dude, he says it the best. When you have a team like this, right, and you have an opportunity to pick a top 5 pick that's going to be a generational player, there's very few teams in the history of the game that we can look back at and circle and say, okay, this team was able to do it as well. Right. You look at the 60s Celtics, 70s Celtics, 80s Celtics, that whole group of Celtics, they were able to win championships while rebuilding in the draft with top 5 picks. And Blake is 100% right. It's like, if you look at the history of the game, it's been done before, so why can't it happen again? And if you look at it, we are positioned for that. We are. We are positioned for that, to be able to pull in a couple top 10 picks. I would say, let's just say 3 top 10 picks over the next 6 years. Think about that, guys. Like, that's the potential this team has. 3 top 10 picks over the next 6 years, while competing for a championship. That should tell you everything that you need to know about how this team was built.
And by all accounts, having a player at Shai's level, young core, including Chet and J-Dub and all the other guys, it's fun, dude. It's fun. We get to watch a lot of good basketball, a lot of great basketball, and we get to be the center of the NBA again. It's been a little bit.
But what's more exciting? I'd say, what's more exciting? Watching a Lakers team that's old and decrepit, or watching a team like the Thunder that are young and fun to watch? Like, that's the thing about this Thunder team. We're not just really good at defense. We're not just really good at offense. Like we will be in the top 3 on defense and offense, if not the best team on offense and the best team on defense this year. Like, how many times can we say that we've seen this before? Chicago Bulls, right? You guys getting it now? San Antonio Spurs. Like, these are the teams that have been able to figure out being a top team, offense and defense, and win multiple championships. That's why all these other, specialists and ESPN writers and all these other people that have been studying the game for so long look at this Thunder team and say, okay, but this is going to be the best team for the next 10 years in the league. Say what you want about the San Antonio Spurs. Sure, you got Victor, but what other player on that team is still going to be there in 10 years? You look at this Thunder team, as long as we sign everybody, we'll have 7 of the top 12 guys that are still on this team. 7 of the top 12 in the next 10 over the 10 years. That's insane.
Yeah, that goes back to the core, building it right, all the things that we've seen with that. And we got to get out there. We got to prove it. Each year, it's not nobody's building off of the last year. So
they're not.
It's going to come down to, getting out there and getting it done. Coach D is on the hot seat. Nobody wants to talk about that, and that's not actually something that is going to be discussed. But if you look at it historically, if he gets an early exit this year, they'll probably bring him back next year, but another early exit, and they're looking for a new voice. And there's some argument that maybe they should already be looking for a new voice. I think that's ridiculous. But in the end, what we have to do is we got to support this team and understand there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but this year there should be a lot more ups and downs.
I would say this, especially if you hear the rumors, and everybody will hear them this year, throughout the year. If Coach D doesn't figure out, then he's on the hot seat. Listen, I often think about this. I often think about the Miami Heat and having a young Eric Spoelstra coach, right? Coach S, right? He's young, wasn't ready to do it, so Riley took over, right? I don't see anything like that ever happening for Coach D, because I more look at Coach D
Didn't
like
that just
the
back
New
up
York
real quick, dude.
Yankees. The New York
Hold up.
Yankees.
That was that happened with Van Gundy, not Spoelstra. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but Spoelstra came up next. My bad. You're right.
Supposedly, LeBron wanted Riley to repeat history and come out of
That's what it
come back
was.
and
Yeah,
do it.
LeBron talking
Anyway,
about it.
sorry, dude.
Thank you. No, you're good. But like, you look at this and you look at Coach D, and then you look at the people and organizations that have been faithful to really good coaches. You know, Brett Boone over the Yankees. You know, like everybody called for him to be fired. Fire him, right? Well, they did
Isn't
it.
it Aaron Boone?
Aaron Boone, Brett Boone, Boones in general. Man, I am off today, bro. Thank you for doing that.
Boone, dude. Or something.
But Boone, though, like over the Yankees, like he should have been fired 2 years ago. Everybody called for it. Last year they called for it, and they didn't.
Now they're in the World Series, bro.
Cashman kept on saying, "I believe in him. I believe in him." My point is, like, that's where the Thunder are at. There's no way that Sam Presti is going to fire Coach D, because he knows that this is not a matter of when or we have to get there quickly. It's a matter of when we arrive. It's not about getting there to a sprint, a 100-meter sprint. It's about recognizing when you have a marathon and growing as a team and growing the trust. We saw it with our last coach, with Scott
Brooks.
Brookie. There we go. Coach Brook, right? So we all saw that with Coach Brooks. We all saw that the team grew around him. And the second that we got rid of him, like, that changed everything. It changed KD staying. You know, it changed a lot. Sam learned that lesson. There's no, you know, the amount of love and trust that these guys have for each other is simple. Is Coach D is going to be the coach for the next 15, 20 years. When he is done coaching, 10 years, whatever it is, when he is done coaching, he will move up into the front office. That's the platform that he has for him. Because if you look at it, and Coach D is out there and he wins, you know, two championships over the next 10 years, right? The system is going to change so much in the NBA. It's going to be a lot like the Brad Stevens effect, right?
Yeah.
And Ainge moves out. Brad Stevens moves up, takes over the front office, moves out as coach, and goes on like that. So I see a lot of it like very similar aspects to what will happen with Coach D. So there's no way Coach D is leaving. I mean, there's just not. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we give him a guaranteed contract of an insane, 10-year or whatever, because we all know that by the time that this dude is late 40s, he's going to be known as one of the great generational coaches of his time. We just got to wait. We got to be patient with him.
Oh, like, this is going to be a year it's going to be hard to be patient. A lot of people bringing expectations into the season. I get that, but like, you can balance it, right? Like, we ended up winning the West the regular season, but there are a lot of points in the regular season where we weren't in the lead, and we kind of snuck into the lead at the end, barely hung on to it. So, like, it's going to be a different thing, because even though we barely hung on to it, nobody gives a damn that you barely hung on to it. We're now the hunted. So people look at us and they say, okay, you won the West. We get to, challenge ourselves against you.
Yep.
And
you're right.
That's exciting, but it's going to be a different challenge this year.
It is. And it's going to be a constant growth with this team. We can't, like you said, the expectations that's going to be put on this team is going to be intense. Me throwing that 68 win out there,
I'm thinking like 60 would be cool.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Is this team, the way that we got better was the exact way we needed to get better in order to have a 65-plus win team.
Yeah.
Because it's not about, at this point, getting another superstar on this team. It's not that. We have the players. We have the stars. I believe J-Dub will be a all-star this year as long as he's healthy. I believe in these guys. I see what's happening. I see this growth in them. And when people are sitting there saying, well, this team, they averaged, was 118 points or whatever it was last year, 120, whatever. Like, there's no way that they can get better than that. That's pretty much, peaking out. but that's not, because when you become more efficient, when you become better, you get on defense, you get more shots. More efficiency creates better shots. So my point about all of that is that this team has a position to get better than just 118, 120 points a game. They have an opportunity to do that. And whether that's 5 points a game, 6 points a game, I don't know. But my point is, even a small increment increase in points means that teams that aren't ready, it's going to be a blowout by quarter 3. And I'll be honest with you, is that's like 70%, if not 80% of the league. Because this league and the way it's built right now is the West got worse with the Clippers, right? The Wolves, I think, got worse, right? Lakers didn't do jack shit, so they got worse because of age. Like, my point is that we can go back and we can look at every single one of these teams, and nobody got significantly better in the offseason except for us, because Alex and Hartenstein are 2 players that aren't only going to help us on defense, but are going to spread our floor out, allowing Chet, allowing J-Dub, like allowing these other players to really execute on what they're already good at. That's it.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to see us go out and, we had to give up some of our strengths, but we gave up a position where we had an awful lot of strength, and we improved our weakest positions on both sides of the ball. So I think it's the type of improvement you want to make if you're serious about making a title run. But on the flip side of it, Josh Giddey's now in Chicago, and we're
That's
poised to see him hopefully take over the East. I have a really good feeling about the triple doubles we're going to see. Like, he gave up a lot last year, being like in a reduced role, and I think he demonstrated what he can do. And I think Billy Donovan's the right coach for the moment for him.
I agree. I think this was a Sam Presti special, we'll call it. Giving Coach Donovan, who is very good with point guards, Josh Giddey, like, if he's going to go someplace, he's going to give it to somebody that's shown loyalty with him in the past. So I see that, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm glad Josh is over there. But now that Lonzo Ball is healthy now.
Yeah, how does that affect you?
Dude, let me just tell you what happens now. Is Lonzo Ball, if he can stay healthy throughout the season, they're going to end up being on the court at the same time. A lot. And you cannot tell me that won't be one of the scariest motherfucking 1-2 combos on offense like that. Like,
so
Josh Giddey doesn't like to share the point guard role, right? But Lonzo at the 2 guard is scary. So, with that being said, is that health plays a huge part in what happens in Chicago. But if Josh Giddey finds a way with Ball, Lonzo Ball, and whoever else is on that team still that's going to look good, if they find a way, they could surprise a lot of teams in the East. And they could end up being, fuck around and end up being top 4 in the West. Or East, I'm sorry.
Give me an over and under on Josh Giddey triple doubles on the season.
Oh, I think you start at 9. I think 9 is a good starting spot, because I do believe that the system that Coach Donovan is representing here, I think, is going to allow Josh Giddey to get double digits in triple doubles. But if you're betting, I'm sitting at 9, because 9, this seems very difficult to do for a young player.
I'm going with 17. How many career triple doubles do you think he has right now?
Probably has close to 15, 12, something like that. I don't know.
Right, I'm guessing around 12. And out of those triple doubles, how many of them did he have when Shea wasn't in the game?
Most of them.
9 or 12, maybe. Like, 3/4 of his triple doubles probably happened on, where he got to be the primary ball handler. So I would say
year 1 and 2, year 3. Yeah. Year 3 was a redo for Josh.
Yeah.
I believe players,
no doubt about that.
Players deserve to have redo years, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for him. I was upset,
Dude, it ruined
but
it ruined our excitement for the off season. I'll be honest with you guys. Like Mark
it
and
did.
I, like there was certain things that throughout our podcasting with this Thunder podcast that we've looked back and be like, it's hard to go to work. But losing Josh Giddey, that was the hardest thing because Mark and I don't think, you guys are all with us. You guys understand the type of passion that we bring to this, but we fall in love with these players and we see them and we stand up for them and we treasure every single moment we get to watch them play because we know that eventually is coming to an end. And unfortunately for Josh, it was a lot sooner than we ever envisioned. So it was really hard to like get on and find positive things to talk about. And even for me, finding like artwork that Mark and I have done without Josh Giddey in it is very difficult to do because he's our favorite. He was one of our favorites when he was playing. So
Yeah, I mean, it is. But I watched a podcast with Malcolm Brogdon, I think, or I don't know, I don't remember who it was, dude, but somebody who was put in a position where they were asked to come off the bench, and they did it for the team. They found themselves coming off the bench. They became known as a player who was willing to come off the bench, even though they were starter level capacity. They ended up making less money. Coaches started recruiting them to be a bench player, and all these different things. And like,
sure.
You end up seeing the long-term negative effect of a career because of like the willingness to continue to make sacrifices.
Absolutely.
And if Josh was just playing for himself, like, and he wanted to win a championship, like, and he decided to play the Manu Ginobili role and be like, I could be a starter, maybe an all-star on a different team, but I'll come off the bench for a championship. Like, that would have been maybe like a good decision for him just because he, enjoys playing with the Thunder so much. But when you have a whole country behind you that, like, and you have the hopes and the dreams and everybody like cheering for you like that, and you have a chance to be an all-star, like, is it on you to do that for your country? Is it about your country, like maximizing your own potential? Like, what does that come down to? And like, it took a while for me to realize it, but like, this was about Josh doing what was best for him. And when he chooses what to do what's best for him, like, it's going to have a positive effect on his family, around his community, around his country, his ability to perform at the highest level for the Boomers, Olympic after Olympic, has a lot to do with the improvements he makes between now and the next Olympics. And that is going to come with the ball in his hands, like the way that he plays for the Boomers. So this is the right thing for him. And like, in that way, I'm super excited about him taking over the NBA. I'm glad it's on the East Coast, but he's going to have a huge impact. Like, people have no idea how excited about basketball they're going to get again in Chicago, because like, you never know what he's going to do in a game.
He ignites it. And you know what the greatest thing about this whole thing is that Chicago, out of all the names that they get amped up about him, you know what it is? The Slob Wizard. They love the Slob Wizard, and they call him that all the time. So Josh has a fun time in Chicago happening. It is going to be incredible. I'm glad for Josh, but more so, I'm glad for this Oklahoma City Thunder team for finding a way to trading Josh to a place that he decides, really needs to go to give him growth. Second of all, for getting a player in return. Really, I want to say it's two players, because Hartenstein we were able to sign because we traded Josh. So we got two players, Hartenstein and Alex, as a consolation prize to Josh Giddey. To me, is a hell of a consolation prize that is going to allow us to compete right now for a championship. And I can tell you this, is that I felt that we were one really good defender away from being in the championship. I really did. I thought we were one good defender away, because Dort and Shea and Kaysen, they're all taking a beating from Luka. And we needed one more high-end defender in order to take on Luka. And guess what we got? We got a really high-end defender that's going to help out with Luka, and it's going to help out with the rest of the players that are incredible players in the West, because the West is not a chump team when it comes to point guards and good offensive point guards. and guards in general. So we're going to see an emergence of Cason Wallace, of Shea, of Dort, of J-Dub, of Alex. I mean, all these guys, they're coming. They're coming, and it's going to be all over everybody's faces, and nobody can stop it.
Yo, everybody, take a chance. If you like good music, check out Parcels at Red Rock. I love Red Rock live sessions, but this one was special. They're an Australian band, headquartered in Berlin. So anybody out there who already knows they don't go by the Parcels, they're just Parcels, but who knows Parcels, hit us up in the chat. Tell us, like,
fuck yeah, do
you know
that.
them, you know the family, you know their friends. You know how long you known about them? Go to high school with them? That'd be cool. Like, they're dope, dude. They're getting big. They're gonna be huge. And last I heard, they're stateside touring, so that's pretty dope. I'm
Sweet.
sure that things will keep going up and up and up for them. So dope ass band. So check them out, guys.
All right, guys, and I will leave you guys with this because this is my view off my back wet patio. Let you guys see that. I think it's pretty spectacular. Anyways, good stuff,
Dave,
guys.
Stop it. Stop bragging. No, I'm just kidding. And stay high, guys. Like, this is going to be a hell of a season. Some people are going to want to tear us down. So just
Andy.
Enjoy the view from here.
Get Andy, man. We need some Andy. What is that? The syrup, bro. We love you, bro. See you guys soon.